Yeah, here, I'm gonna read it off my phone so it doesn't interfere with the lighting. Okay, the next one is from Adam Bojack, and it says, how does one respectfully visit slash be a tourist in indigenous areas? Obviously, learning about local customs and culture should be undertaken before the trip, but is it overkill to try to reach out to local leaders or groups? I have a lot to say about this. But the main thing is like, just don't go. Don't come.
Just don't don't come. Please don't go. Don't come unless you're invited.
Yeah, straight up.
Because I think like some of the, like, just my quick thoughts on it are just, if an indigenous nation or group is like actually wanting you to come visit, they'll make it so, you know. But there are times when I'm like, what is this person doing here, you know? And just because somebody doesn't explicitly say no to you right off the bat doesn't mean that it's okay to do those things. And, you know, like I would say, like our nobody wants to, it's weird because it's like kind of goes into this whole thing where like nobody really wants to like visit our reservations. It's much different for y'all because you guys have like the kind of idyllic like pueblos and, you know, things like that. But so we do have like an active like attempt to recruit like tourists, and there's, you know, you can go on our tribal website, there's ways to do it, there's ways to go fishing. We like encourage people like fishermen and hunters and game people to come on because it helps pay for our wildlife management. And so I can speak from our tribal perspective, and we actually have really good wildlife management. I would say, like, hands down, we work with a lot of non-native hunters and fishers and things like that, and it's pretty respectful. Like the person who managed it for a while, his name is Sean Grassel from the Lower Brule Sioux tribe. He was our first PhD in our entire nation. So he's a pretty cool dude, and they've done a lot of things. And there's like actually like you can rent cabins and things like that. So I would say if you want to come visit us, like, welcome. We need the we need the tourist dollars. But yeah, it varies place to place. Like places like Hawaii, you know, even during COVID, we shut our doors, so to speak, to outsiders. But people were still trying to drive through the res, doing all kinds of weird stuff. But yeah, I mean, it just comes down to consent.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, you know, my pueblo is open to tourists, and we also need the tourist dollars. However, like personally, like me and my family, we're not crazy about them at all, because they come in and they treat it like I don't even know what these places are called, but like places where it's like everybody's an actor and everybody's in character, and it's like recreating the past. Like, have you ever been to a place like that? Like
Disney World?
What?
Like Disney World?
I guess. I don't know. Yeah, like, yeah. But like, it's like historic or whatever. And like, people think it's that. And people think that.
Oh, medieval times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people think it's like that. People think it's like staged and set up, and that we're actors and it's props. And they're like shocked when they see like a car or like, so, you know,
somebody getting Mickey D's.
Yeah. Or like when we're not like, you know, dressed up baking bread or whatever they expect. Like, I don't know. And then they assume that our homes are like public, like businesses, like galleries.
Yeah.
And some people do have like galleries in their home and shops, but they assume that all of them are. So on multiple occasions, we've had tourists just walk into our home, like, and like the kid is watching SpongeBob on the floor, like wondering what's going on. And like people disrespect our sacred places because they're out in the open, because it's our home, like our kivas and, you know, even our shrines. And like, should I tell the margarita story? Like, if you fuck around, you're gonna find out. Like, that's all I'm saying is like, we will protect our stuff, and you will be confronted, not so politely, if you go near places or touch things you're not supposed to. And, you know, tourists are briefed about that, like at the visitor center. But basically, yeah, don't go unless you're invited. And like, also, I do think it's weird when people come in trying to talk about culture, like, and I'm assuming it's because people like go do some research prior, right? And then they try to
I
talk.
read a book.
Yeah, and then they try to talk about really inappropriate things, and it like catches you off guard. So like, please don't go to a place trying to talk to people about their culture or like trying to.
Or it's like, you know what, like, you know what always cracks me up is like white people always, excuse me, I'm just going to go into generalizations here, but so many white people have come up to me and be like, I'm learning Arabic. And it's like, cool. Like half the world speaks another language. Like you're not freaking special, you know, like I don't, or like I learned this about your culture. What do you guys think about this? And it's like, I want to like go to every white person and be like, so, how do you guys think about Donald Trump? Like, is he your like uncle? Like, have you ever met him?
No, no. Oh my god. And then the last part about trying to reach out to local leaders and groups, like I know that Pueblo governors are probably not going to give you the time of day. Like they have
Yeah.
much better things to do. Like I don't know, just don't do that. Like that they don't have.
There's tourist offices, you know, like there's places, go to the website. Just go to the website, call the person. Like there's good places. Like I always recommend people, you know, when they go to Albuquerque, go to the Pueblo Cultural Center. You want to eat cool, good food? Go to the Pueblo Cultural Center. It's there for you to like, you know, experience that thing, you know, and to like support like local artisans, to look at local art, to see like public dances. But yeah, like I think the stuff with the sacred sites is also really problematic for us, just because like, you know, the Mount Rushmore is literally blasted into one of our sacred mountains. So if you're gonna go there, like go there to like protest or like raise hell. Like don't go there to like I don't know, just to see it. Like I don't know, like what do you want? You want to see it? Like cool. But yeah, I don't know. It's like even some of our sacred sites aren't even under our control. They're in like state control and not federal management. And so even we get policed for just being on our own land and going to our own sacred sites. And it's hard. It's hard enough to deal with that. And then to have an added expectation that we are some kind of like native guide to the rest of the world, you know? And that's just racist and colonial. This whole idea that like even as an academic and even as a podcaster, people ask for our perspective on a lot of things. And oftentimes I do believe in education. It's incredibly important, but we should be setting the terms of how people get and receive that information versus, you know, you just kind of having an idea. Oh, I have an idea. I want to do a documentary or a story about Indigenous people. And it's like, cool. Do you know the people you're talking to? You know, like all these kinds of questions come up, and it's like, you know, some people have asked me like, how do I best support this? And it's like, why don't you just support our work as the podcast? Like, you know, why don't you just become a Patreon supporter and like support our work? Like, why do you need to take from us all the time? Like, I don't get that. Like any other person, like you wouldn't do that to another podcast. You wouldn't do that to another academic or educator. So why do you do it to us? That kind of went off tangent on the tourist question.